Okay, so the newest Medal of Honor game. It's a very exciting release when it comes up. Can you talk me through some of your experiences working on the game?
Absolutely. So this was the first time in a long time that we got to develop multiplayer internally at Denver Close. It has traditionally been outsourced. So of course that is a big step for us, having multiplayer and single player on the same tech and under the same roof. It made it a lot easier for us to just shift resources back and forth, move features between single player and multiplayer. And, well, movie side, it was fitting. It just allowed us to do so much more in terms of like the core content offering. In multiplayer now we have 6 classes compared to 3 in the last game, and they all have the unique support actions and class abilities and weapon systems and grenades and whatever. It would have just been impossible to do that if it wasn't for having the entire team in the same group.
Sure. So obviously the shooter genre is a very popular one. What do you think is so attractive about the genre to the modern gamer?
I think it's a lot of things. I think there's an interest in, what should I say? So conflict always makes good entertainment. We know this from movies, theater, plays, and even games. And I think there is a special interest in modern shooters since there's an interest in modern shooters since we read a lot about it in the papers, and I think there's a desire to experience what you hear about. The same thing like Flash Gordon became popular after the space race. I think it just affects how you want to get entertained. I think you see. It's also mainly because they're all fun. I think I'm having a blast playing them.
So, what is the new Medal of Honor game in terms of multiplayer going to do to stand out against some very, very strong competition that's coming this year and next year?
A couple of things. We're trying to be the authentic shooter. We want to give you access to the real gear, the real equipment that the guys are using out there. We're introducing gameplay features that are absolutely unique for Medal of Honor franchise. We have our fire team feature, which is our way of putting co-op inside multiplayer. It's basically us pairing you with a friend, and if you play well together, you get rewarded with faster respawns, ammunition, intel on enemies, and all of that. Actually, the spawn system works so that if your body goes down, you need to stay out of combat for 5 seconds or so to allow it to spawn in. And that creates really cool tempo shifts, just like being really aggressive, take ground together, and then when one of you falls, stay back for a bit, regroup, recover, and then go at it again.
Do you think realism is a difficult thing to program into a shooter compared to, I guess, a more arcade kind of experience?
It is. We tend to use the word authentic, and for us it's a lot about the gear. I mean, especially in the multiplayer. War does a lot of things in real life that we don't want to go close to in multiplayer, obviously. For the single player, they are touching on subjects that come in real war situations, big subjects. What happens when kind of the line between being the good guy and the bad guy is kind of starting to get diffuse. Our storyline was written by 2 special operators. They wrote this when they were deployed in the Middle East many years ago, and we got hold of it 4 years ago and felt like this is an awesome story. This has to be a game. That was mid-development of the last Medal of Honor, so parts of it, especially the characters, were lifted into that game to make it a bit of a prequel. You will realize, you recognize some of the characters this time around, but this is the first time we're going to show the entire story. It's a really interesting one. It's of course about their experiences, their brotherhood, but also about their families. What happens to your family when you're away for 300 days a year and when you live in this violent reality.
Sure. And then I guess just as a finishing question, obviously as the genre's become more popular, it's become harder and harder to engage with new players in the shooter genre. Do you think Medal of Honor is going to appeal to people who may not have played many shooters before?
I think so. I think our way of looking at team play is unique. It's kind of easy to find one friend that you really trust and play with compared to finding another team of players. So I think that is unique, and I hope that will pull more players into the shooting genre.
Great. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time.
All right. Yeah, thank you very much.